Project Diablo 2 Season 10 Noob Mapping Guide, beginner guide for maps in Project Diablo 2. What are maps? Map are those beautiful things that start dropping in Act 5 Nightmare. There are four tiers of maps. We'll focus on the three first because the fourth one is a dungeon for specific stuff. So tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Maps comes in different rarities. You got the white ones. You have blue ones. Blue ones are like magic items that you have. Maximum 2 affixes, 1 prefix, 1 suffix. And for rare maps, you have possibility to roll up to 6 affixes. And that's pretty much it for the map rarities. Obtaining map, like I said, you can get them from Act 5 Nightmare and so forth. You'll get tier 1 maps. You'll get 1 tier 1 map upon finishing the Anya quest in Act 5 Hell to get you started. And if you look at Anya, she sells a bunch of different orbs to manipulate rarity and stats on a map. General tip when you're shopping for these, try to get a Geeds Fortune with 15% vendor price, and an edge bow Tal Am for the 15% off the shop. You can get easily a one of those bows, 3-second bows in Act 1 normal. Just refresh the shop, go to Charcy, she'll sell you Hunter's Bow, or to Geeds who sell long bows. Because as you can see, let's say we got 129,000. Let's remove the bow, remove the Geeds. We're at 179, so quite expensive. Quite expensive material. Alright, I'll just go over each of them quickly. Arcane Orb, disregard this orb. You never want basically blue maps. You really want either white maps to stack them nice and properly in your stash and easy to craft, or you want them yellow to run them basically. So you're never gonna upgrade a normal to blue map, so disregard this. Zacharon Orb, if you have white maps, you want to bring them to rare maps, you use this orb. The recipe is right there on the jewel, on the orb itself. You can cube that with a normal map, a jewel, a rune to upgrade it to a rare map. So that's the base material. You can infuse orbs by using the orbs themselves with a jewel and a rune to upgrade it to an infused orb instead of having all the recipes just all bundled up in that one orb. Ardrim Orb, really good for tier 3 rerolling if you want to go for experience and try to grab the juiciest map. Having those will help you achieve that. You can reroll rare maps in 2 different ways. You can either use this one, or you can use the Orb of Destruction to bring a rare map to a white map and then back again to a yellow map, which will reroll the stats. So there's 2 ways to do it. Destruction Orb, like I mentioned, will bring blue maps to white and yellow maps to white as well. So basically all the blue maps you're gonna get, you're pretty much gonna be Orb of Destructing them to get them white, to make them stackable like these ones. You want them stackable so they don't fill up your stash. Angelic Orbs upgrade the magic map to a rare map, but it uses a perfect skull, which is really expensive, material, so you really don't want to use those. Even if the orb themselves are a bit cheaper on the price side, you see 64,000 in comparison to 129 or 96. Cartographer's orb, you don't really use those. You would maybe use those in SSF if you want to upgrade maps to a tier higher. They're really expensive. And usually people will trade if you're online, people will trade tier 1s for tier 3 depending on what their build they're running. You can trade 1-for-1 tier 1 maps for tier 3 maps. Sometimes people don't want them, they want another map. So cartographer orbs are not really useful at all. And you got the fortification orb, which I will get to a little bit later. So like I mentioned, cartographer orb not too useful. One good tip is when you know which map you want to run, and you want to try to shop for those and try to get rid of the ones you don't use, you can just go on the trade site right here. You go in exchange, you'll go in maps. So either the map you're looking for or the map you have. So let's say I want to trade off my Kyrgyzstan marketplace. No one wants that, but yeah, I'll just modify. I want to trade off my ancestral trial. So basically what you pay, I'm going to pay one ancestral trial for whatever other maps people are offering. Usually it's a 1-for-1 trade. Some maps are a little bit more expensive, like cow maps are a little bit more expensive usually, or throne maps that are really popular, but usually 1-for-1 you'll get away with it. Map affixes. So if you go on the wiki and you look at the map discussion here, you can scroll down. Pretty much everything I'm gonna say in this video is pretty much on this sheet, other than like general tips and strategies. So map affixes, a couple of things to look out for when you start off with maps. Some important mods that make or break some builds. Fast rate recovery. You really don't want to go into negative fast rate recovery, else your character gets stun locked basically forever. So that's a really feel bad mod if you don't have enough FHR to compensate for the negative on the map. Other than that, things you want to avoid: maximum life. Usually you want to avoid those for just clear speed. You'll get longer to get your kill your monster and finish your map. Attack speed, cast speed. It's kind of a positive thing for some of the build because you can group monster faster. They run after you faster. They group faster. You can AoE them down. So they're a bit more dangerous, but that's kind of an advantage. No, sorry, it's this one, velocity. That's the one that affects movement speed and speed in general. Sorry about that. Other than that, things to look out for. I add the Pierce for summoner builds. If you're telestomping on stuff and you get archers firing through, they will fire through your minions and hit you, possibly. So that's one thing to look for summoners. I can explain a little bit this mod. People seem confused sometimes about this mod. So basically, monster have X% of physical physical damage as extra cold, fire, or lightning. Basically, if a monster hits you, if that mod is 50%, let's say, a mob hits you for 100 physical damage, they will hit you with 100 physical damage and 50 fire damage on top of it. And this physical damage can be scaled by might auras or fanatism, concentration. So that will add extra damage on top. So it's a good check on your resistances. That's why if you don't have max resistances in maps, you'll have a hard time basically. Mobs will hit you very hard with this. Other than that, melee splash for summoner builds as well. Same thing, you telestomp, everything's on top of each other, and monster hit you, it's everything around you. So thing to look out for summoners. So I was talking about these ones. Additional loot for T1 and T2s. I don't really roll over those. Usually I just run them. Gives you some extra loot. Map bosses. One interesting tech with bosses is you can, if you get this mod, you can try to run it fortified, because fortified map gives more loot. I didn't get into the fortification orb earlier. I'll get to it now, I guess. But yeah, if you get a fortified map with multiple boss, you get more loot from the 2 bosses, let's say. So you get the equivalent of like 3 or 4 bosses worth of loot if you have this mod and fortified on. And another very important mod is +1 area level on tier 3 maps. This mod is the best mod for experience, so you want to look out for that and not roll over those or keep them aside, basically. But on tier 1 and tier 2 maps, if you see this mod, it's not really useful because you just run a higher level map. Okay, so like I was saying earlier, for map levels, so tier 1s are monster level 87, 88, oops, opened it by accident, 88 and 89 for tier 3. So the +1 area level, you can get that all the way to 90, the monster level 90 on tier 3. You can even get the corruption on top of your map that gives you another level, so that will be 91. And rare monsters and maps are 1 level higher than the map, so the monster will be level 92, so that reduces heavily the experience penalty, so that's why they gave you a bunch more experience. So okay, that's it for the for the affixes. Another nice thing in the wiki is this table for immunity. So let's say I'm a poison user, I can filter all the maps that I have immunes and then run these ones, be my targeted maps. If you have a nice loot filter, usually you get these resistances on the map that tells you right away what are the resistance on the map. But if you don't, you can use the table that I just showed you on the wiki. Okay, fortification. Fortification orb are made for more single target focus build, heavy single target build like Fury, throw barbs, jabs on, stuff like that are really have smaller AoE damage but more single target. So basically you'll get, mobs will get more health, there'll be less monsters in the map, they'll do more damage, but they'll drop more loot and experience. So that's the orb of fortification. You can just apply this. You cannot unapply it though. So if you apply it, it's there. It's done. You cannot reverse it. So we can talk about corruptions. Map corruptions. Well, let's talk about map events. So map events. Yeah. So map events, you get an event in a map 33% of the time if you're in a rare map, and less chances if the map is rare as magic or normal. So usually people are just running rare maps. It's the most efficient thing to do, and you get more events. So a couple details about events. Let's start from the bottom. The altar. The altar will spawn in the map. You click on it, a boss will spawn, you kill it, get some loot, and then you click back on the altar to get catalyst shards. Catalyst shards are these guys right there. You can craft those with maps and they will guarantee an event within that map, with the exception of the altar event. So you cannot chain them in like indefinitely. You remove that from the pool. That's fine. You can go back to going up to here. We get Geeds. Geeds will spawn in your map. It will offer you a selection of 5 items, and they all cost 1 million gold. So having gold on your character at all times when you're doing map is pretty smart if you don't want to miss out on some nice base in there. And having the Geeds and the edge bow on end will help you manage the cost down a little bit. Faint humming keeps darkness at bay. You'll click on a little monument building there in the map. Map will turn black. You'll get extra mobs, and those extra mobs will drop keys for Hubert Tristram. 8 keys, terror keys, and destruction keys. that's it. You just kill a bunch of them. I think you'll get from 3 to 6 keys per map from this event. I'm not exactly sure. I think maybe 7 is the max, but there's a cap on it. Mischievous Laughter is the goblin, so you get 3 goblins per map. Goblins drop, you kill them and they drop gold, map, map materials like Zaccharum Orbs that I showed earlier, stuff like that, gems and runes. Yes, and runes can drop up to Ist. It says here it's up to but it's been changed in the it's been changed on season 10, been buffed. Horizon, the summoner monster spawns in your map. You kill him, get loot, and he opens up a portal to a different map. And in this map, it keeps all the same map mods of the maps you were running, but all the monsters will have their immunities sundered, basically. So you can run any map with any build, and it's fine. Monster will have less resistances. I'll skip Medlin because Medlin has a little bit more intricacies to it. So Wanderer is there will be 3 dark renderers in your map. Wanderers in your map, you go close to them, and they'll spawn a super unique mob there, or an ag boss can spawn a Diablo, Baal, Mephisto, Duriel and stuff, and it can spawn any like Pindleskin, not Shrek, Shank, stuff like that. Contest. So all the item pools from those boss will still drop. Let's say you kill Diablo, you can get Primeval Souls, the Uber material. You can get Key Boss, you can get like Contest, Blood Raven, stuff like that. They can drop keys as well. And all the Ag Boss can drop their essence for tokens. From this, on top of dropping from 3 to 7 or 3 to 6 Worldstone shard each. So there's 3 of them in the event, so it's a good bump to your Worldstone shard count. Medlin is the experience event. So when you see the evil beacons from the void pop up on your screen, usually it's a good idea to read the map, get an experience shrine, come back. He will spawn multiple undeads and skeletons and zombies. They give massive experience. You kill them in rounds. After that, Medlin just leaves and he will drop loot and has the chance to drop a Splinter of the Void, which is a Uber material for Ratma. And that's it for the event. Okay, so mapping strategy for myself. Personally, what I do, tier 1 and tier 2, usually I use them as fast mapping and clear speed maps to try to get loot, finish maps as fast as possible. And for those maps, usually I just roll them once with Zaccharum Orb. I'll take a stack. So I want to craft some Aragot maps. I'll just go bang bang bang, craft 3 of them. And depending if I can run them, usually I can run all the mods. You can look at the mods quickly, but for tier 1s they're pretty easy, so you should be okay. I corrupt them with the Worldstone Shard, and then I just run them. And I just clear them really fast. And having the gold find, having gold find, magic find on there is a bonus. It's nice, not necessary. Sometimes I reroll if the density is really low. If you get like 30% density, you try to reroll it maybe a bit. But usually with the Worldstone Shard, it will bump your density a little bit more. So crafting fast, running map fast. That's my strategy for tier 1 and T2s. Tier 3s, you can go either magic find like I'm doing for tier 1 T2s, or you can go for experience. Experience, that's where you're going to be investing in your maps. Rerolling with Red Rim Orbs to get the good mods to get the maximum experience per map. So the top mod you want to be looking for is area level, like I stated earlier. So this mod overtakes everything in terms of experience. You're gonna be aiming for that. And while you're crafting, the ones that are not gonna be +1 area, you'll be looking at high rarity and high density. The kind of a combination of both, like 100% density and 40% rarity, 50% rarity is like a nice sweet spot. Because if you get high rarity but low density, you won't be spawning as many packs of monster, so you won't be spawning as many rare packs if you don't have the density that goes with the rarity. So that will be my number 2 priority for leveling, will be high density, high rarity. And after that, the experience mod will be third. You get whatever you can get on it, like this one's 17%. But if it would be 5% with an area level on it, I'll keep it, because the area level is really what determines the most experience you'll get. Also on tier 3 mapping, you'll be using those to try to trigger the Mendling event to get more experience. That's pretty much, and if you get another event, it's fine too. You'll get loot, you get some nice stuff, but you really want to use those shards for trying to proc the Mendling event, because they're kind of expensive, so they're mal to an is each, so you want to keep those for tier 3 if you can. Standard of hero, it's you'll use those only for tier 3 mapping, because that is the 10% experience you want on it. That's pretty much it. The small density and MF boost is not really relevant, because as you can see, you get already 100% and 50% plus. On that, it's a small change. It's not that big. So these ones, keep them for for tier 3 maps, and you can sell them. I think they're worth a sigil each. Sigil as well, small parent. I didn't talk about those. Each map tier will drop their own kind of sigil. You need the 3 of them to unlock Uber Ancients. So tier 1 will drop Madawak, tier 2 will drop Talik, and tier 3 will drop Corlic. A standard hero usually goes for 1 sigil of any kind, so that's pretty much the price of those. And you get the standard hero from running Uber Ancients. You'll get 3 of them guaranteed per event. So Splinter of the Void, Midland event, that's what I talked about. Things you can encounter in maps. Jawbone drop from any undead monster. Another thing for Uber Ratma. Demonic Essence will drop from Map Boss. It's a material for Uber Diablo. Flesh of Malik is it's new from season 10. It's for the new Lucian fight. Only drops in maps from regular mobs. I think, I'm not exactly sure if it's a certain type of mob or whatnot, but it drops from maps. That's what I know. And Scarab are for tier 4. I won't talk about tier 4 in this because it's really specific. It would require like a whole video about it. But they drop from Map Boss. They're not worth too much because not many people run dungeons. So efficiency. What I like to do when I am about to start, let's say I'm about to start mapping, let's say I'm gonna run, I would come into my stash, try to get like all the blue ones and the yellow ones, try to all destroy them, put them in stacks. They're easier to trade this way and they're easier to craft this way. So what I want to do, I want to try to run some I'm gonna try to run some sewers. Just take my, try to craft at least 4 or 5 of them at a time, so you have less downtime crafting maps between your sessions. So for tier 1s, like I said, it's pretty much, like we say in the PoE communities, all can go. You pretty much make it rare and you run it whatever the outcome is, with a Worldstone shard on top. If you want to be doing tier 3 mapping for experience, you'll be spending more time re-rolling and everything like that, so you can spend a lot of time if you have a lot of material to craft all your maps, put them in the stash tab and run those. But for, let's say I want to run just some quick map solo, just go like this, Craft all those. Quick at them. Look at the mods quickly. You can run this. Max life's a bit annoying. You can run this. Easy. 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 So I would just go like this. You can set up your hotkey for your cube. Really useful as well. It's in the options, so you can see X is my transmute button. So there you go. I got 4 maps ready to go. I would just put them like put them somewhere. Put them there. I was just not set up for the video, but that's it. And I would just run them back to back. Drop loot, open the other map, go, instead of recrafting every time. So it saves you a little bit of time if you can organize a little bit, have your material ready and stuff like that. I would have crafted more, but I didn't have any Sacrum Orb. So yeah guys, this is pretty much that's it for the guide. I hope you liked it. I really want to try to keep it as short as possible with as much information as possible for newer players. I was mapping a lot when I pushed 99, and while group mapping, people were asking like really basic questions sometimes. So if I can help out anyone with this video, that'll make my day. So I'll see you guys in the next video, probably a build guide about this Druid you're looking at, the monstrosity, but we'll have some fun with it next time. So see you guys next time.